Thank you very much, Tim and Sandy. What you're doing and providing for other service members with service dogs is, one of the kindest things that you can do.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I mean, it means so much to me and my family, so thank you.
I'm super appreciative. It's really, really difficult, and I really, really appreciate knowing that I do have this support. Thank you's not enough. I really don't know what to say. I wish I could say something more.
My name is Joey Rundle. I was a sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. I did 3 deployments to Iraq, and this is my service dog, Bruno. He is originally from Colombia, and then we did training over in Florida. We did roughly 6 hours a day for a month straight, and that's when I had no money, and I reached out to Semper Fi and America's Fund, and they helped actually fund my trip for me to go down and train with Bruno. Bruno is a PTSD service dog. Basically anytime, he's like my battle buddy. Anytime we're going to the store, he's right there next to me. He's always watching me, always looking up at me, making sure that I'm okay, making sure that I'm safe. It takes a lot of anxiety off. If I'm going into a store and there might be a big crowd or something like that, he alleviates all that. And it just allows me to actually have a normal life. So Bruno, in my recovery process, he's helped me a ton. When you wake up in the morning and you have nothing to really look forward to, that's when it's your darkest days. But knowing that you roll over in bed and you're just covered in hair, and then you look over at him and he's just got the dopey look on his face, like, hey Dad, and just knowing the fact that he's right there, and you gotta hurry up and get up, and it gets your day going, and it gets get your day started. To have the support from a service dog, to not even be able to speak with you, but to be able to have such an impact on your life and your day-to-day living, it's overwhelming. Without that, I really don't know how my life would be. It's unexplainable. He means the world. I'll give anything for him.
I'm Brian Fogarty. I'm a United States Marine. I retired as a sergeant major. I served all over, but combat deployments in Kosovo, Iraq, and Afghanistan. This is Blade. Blade is a 6-year-old boxer. I've had him from the time that he was 3 months old. Originally got Blade as a pet, and Blade immediately started showing signs that he was different. When he was a puppy, he was waking me up in the middle of the night when I was having my nightmares. He would get up on the bed and he'd paw at my chest until I woke up, and that's when I knew I needed to pursue the service dog route. So Blade does a variety of different tasks. He does a lot of blocking techniques where he automatically gets between me and people when they approach. So that gives me a sense of reassurance, especially when I'm in grocery stores or crowded areas. Early on, when I was starting my journey of recovery with PTSD, he got me out of myself because I had to care for someone or something else. It was easy for me not to do anything, but I had to take him out, I had to walk him, had to spend time training him, etc. And that was a big thing because I had to get out of my darkness and my shell in order to provide for him. Having Blade going to PTSD groups, to AA meetings, he always finds that service member that's having the hardest times. And Blade has more teardrops in his coat than anything. And I can't tell you how many other service members have come up to me and told me that, this was their last effort before they considered taking their lives. He leans into people that are having bad, and he takes that energy, and I remember him doing it for me. And the fact that he's able to save lives, and I'm able to talk to other veterans about going out and telling their story and getting help and not being embarrassed, and next thing you know, they're thriving and they got service dogs, and they're giving back by helping other service members. It's unconditional love. I mean, he's there for me all the time. It just makes me want to do more for not just him or myself, but for others.
My name is Michael Spivey. I was in the Marine Corps and I was a sergeant. My service dog's name is Bixby. She is a 2-year-old Australian Shepherd. Bixby's main task is to help with my social anxiety. She forces me so that I can get her to get out and experience different things and noises and people and everything like that. I have to take her out to different locations so that she can desensitize to it, which then helps me desensitize to it. hyper vigilant. You know, everywhere we go, like I'm always having to worry about everything else, where it, like, she puts the focus on her, so I'm paying attention to her instead of like the million different distractions out there. It just helps me move on with my life instead of staying in the house not doing anything. It gets me out and active, and then the more out and active that I am, the better my headspace is. She means everything to me. Since we've got her, I've been a whole different person.
My name's James Henniger. I was with the United States Marine Corps. I was a staff sergeant. I did 5 tours in Iraq, 1 tour in Afghanistan. Monty's my service dog. I got him in 2014. Monty picked me. Well, he closes all the doors that I leave open. He'll wake me up from my nightmares. He helps me go to the grocery store, flights, airports. He stays by me all the time, make me feel comfortable. He also will comfort me when he knows when I'm about to have a flashback or a bad moment, and he'll just put his head on my knee and pet him. He gave me a responsibility again. I was an infantry platoon sergeant, and one of the things that I was suffering from is survival's guilt and also lost my sense of purpose. You know, I did it for so long, so now I'm taking care of him, you know, making sure he gets fed and all his medicines and pills and stuff, and keeps me focused. He's my battle buddy. I mean, I can't thank him enough for all that he's done and keeps on doing. Normally they're retired, but he doesn't want to retire. He wants to keep working.
My name is Alex Torres, Alexander. I was in the United States Marine Corps. Got out as a sergeant in the Marine Corps. My first enlistment was 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines. My service dog, he's Kong. Kong is he's a 2.5-year-old Belgian Malinois. Still a lot of puppy in this guy. When I got Kong, it was just gonna be our house dog, and then quickly learned that he needed a job, and I was his job. He keeps me busy. At times I just want to be left alone, and that's part of that isolation, but he's not gonna let that happen as long as he's around, so it's a good thing. When it comes to tasks, there's a lot of things when I just kind of get in the zone, thinking to myself, I tend to get little episodes of anxiety, so that'll be like the foot tapping. The foot tapping, he's gonna respond to it pretty fast. He knocks me out of it. Sometimes he'll like just jump on my lap. I don't care if he's disruptive. He nudges me if he jumps on me in public. He knows something else that other people don't. It's definitely a crawl, walk, run on the recovery process when it comes to being outside, exposed to just larger crowds. I think in general, veterans that's been exposed to the combat area don't like the big crowds around them. We just like that distance. So coming home, I definitely felt that the hypervigilancy, stuff like that. Service members coming back from Iraq, Afghanistan during this campaign tend to isolate a lot, and they shun away from everything as far as family, friends, just life in general. Kong will give me that security. It's everything. It's like we want to get out of that mindset. I think about it every single day. We're home now. I've been home about 15 years already. Do I really need to be in that mindset anymore? No, I don't.
My name is Ross Gerald Blaine. Branch of service was United States Marine Corps. Rank was Master Gunnery Sergeant, retired. Astro, yes. I'm a father of 6 children, so he's my 7th child. Just watching his own evolution from the time I got him until where he is today, 6 years later. It's just been a game-changing experience for me. He does it all, he does it all. He gets me going every day. He's a PTSD dog, so he helps me dealing with different environments, crowds. He's also a mobility dog due to my bilateral disabilities. If I'm sitting down, he'll help me stand, and vice versa. He can identify if I'm having any type of anxiety attacks. He'll ground me. He will, lick my hand, or if I'm on the ground or something like that, he will lay on me to kind of keep me under control or calm. Whatever I'm feeling, he's there to, soul me and pick me up and lift me up. Him and I have traveled all over the country. We've been on whitewater rafting. We've climbed mountains. We've been on ski mountains. Actually even participated in zip lining. I mean, you name it, we've done it all. I love him just like I love any other family member. He's always by my side, no matter what. Transition out of the military where I did, going through a medical retirement was probably one of the most arduous experience. It was kind of like a second divorce. Leaving the military, something I really was invested in 20 plus years. It was probably one of the lowest points of my life. And meeting Astro and building that relationship, it was just a remarkable shift in my mindset. He's just given me so much inspiration, and it gives me more of an empowerment to continue forward and reinvent myself, and he's been part of that evolution. I'm not gonna let my disability define, my happiness, and he's been huge. Be able to get that motivation to get back at it in life, I'm just completely, humbled and honored to have, a partner like him. When they say it's a man's best friend, that's absolutely what he is.
My name is Anna Clark. I served in the United States Marine Corps. I've served in Iraq and Afghanistan. I was inpatient in intensive care for PTSD, and Gunny was there as well. I couldn't sleep one night, and he was roaming. Gunny came by and dropped this orange ball. I'm like, what do you want? I started throwing it down the hallway, and we spent hours in the middle of the night. I couldn't sleep, and obviously he couldn't either. So when it was time for me to leave 12 weeks later, my psychiatrist, he recommended that I take the dog. And I'm like, I don't think I can. It's too much. I mean, I could barely take care of myself. You're asking me to be responsible for one more person. Knowing that the fund was there and was gonna be there with me was reassuring. I bit the bullet. And I was like, okay, I'll take Gunny. Gunny wakes me up in the middle of the night whenever I'm having nightmares. He also warns me about 45 minutes before I'm going to have a really bad migraine episode. Typically, they lead to me losing some of my vision. He'll push me down, get me to sit down, and he supports me whenever I'm out socially. He does a lot of blocking. He's keeping a head count anytime we're out, keeps our family together. Coming back home is a big one. He'll go search the house. He knows to search the house for me. He's there when I'm sobbing. He's that shoulder when I don't want anyone else around, so Gunny's there. He also pushes me. Gunny pushes me at times where when I think I can't do something, he's like, come on, get up, you can do this. He gets me out of bed, he gets me moving. And so as I've been able to accomplish small goals and small tasks just for him, then it also has helped me set goals for myself to get up and do certain things. He wants to walk, he wants to play, and he won't take no for an answer. He'll just keep dropping the ball at my feet, and it's,
My name is Davey Lind. I'm a retired Marine Corps Master Sergeant. I served for 20 years, 6 months, and 3 days. And I like to say that if it was sandy and bad, I've been there. But my injuries occurred in Iraq in 2007. My very first service companion I had for 10 years, his name was Zeus. We did everything together. He was with me when I started walking. So he was motivation to get me up and get me going on those initial steps. Once Zeus passed away, the deafening silence became overwhelming, and that's when I reached back out to the fund. I've been with this companion now, Murph, for almost 4 years. He's a big, beautiful, I call him a baby beluga. He's loyal, lovable, protective to the children. He's my oldest teenager in the house. He's a Cane Corso, so he looks very intimidating to most people, but then after about 3 seconds, you're like, he just wants love and attention. So we are the same person, you know what I mean? The most important task that he does is he's my service companion. So he just goes places with me and he keeps me motivated to get up and do something. I always have something to do as far as let him out or walk him or things like that. But the most important thing he does is he just spends time with me. He never interrupts. He always listens to my stories. There's no judgment in him at all. He just likes being around me, which I think is very important. If I'm down for a day, he doesn't go to the door pawing and begging to get outside. He stays right next to me. The support I get from my service dog is quite honestly invaluable. I always have that companionship, and that's the most important thing to me.
My name is Nick Kimmel. I was a sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. Rush was my service dog. He was a golden retriever. Unfortunately, passed away during COVID. He was like my best friend. It was just me and him, really. He was my person. Early on, trying to get a service dog, I had a lot of trouble going through some of the bigger groups that are out there as a triple amputee, and so I went to a private facility that trained dogs. but I had to cover the cost myself. Semper Fi and America's Fund jumped in and paid for all of his training and the cost of the dog. And then once I got to my home, they even helped paid for setup, whether it was dog beds or I have a lot of property, so they put in a dog fence for me. And every time I took him somewhere, everyone couldn't believe the demeanor he had. He was one of the calmest, most relaxed dogs you'd ever come across, which for me was a big help because it helped soothe me and calm me down. And other tasks he would do. A huge one is to carry things or move things out of my way because I only have one limb. So at the time, picking up anything from the ground was a huge task. Having him help me with little menial tasks that most people don't think that takes effort. For someone with 2 fake legs and 1 good arm, I needed an extra hand. I needed an extra helper. At a grocery store or any public facility, I could actually give him a command to watch my back, which he would just turn around and be back to back with me, so I knew that there was nothing gonna come up on me. Being able to identify when I was having an anxiety attack or about to have a PTSD moment, and he would nudge me and kind of distract me so I could get back in the moment. And then just the companionship, to have another living thing next to you all the time, which also helps you focus because you have something to take care of now too, as well as them taking care of you. When I'm ready for another service dog, I'm sure Semper Fi and America's Fund be right there for me.
My name is Povis McNitus. I served in the United States Marine Corps as a sergeant. I served in Iraq and Afghanistan. I have a service dog. Her name is Gun. She's 2.5 years old. She's currently in training, so she's still a little bit rambunctious. Yeah, she's a fireball. Keeping you on your toes all the time, which is what I love about her. You know, I don't want a lazy dog. I want a dog that wants to get out and do activities with me. Something a little more unique about her that I actually am learning to love is my last dog was, you know, very energetic, always loving to be out there, also a German Shepherd, but he was very stoic. Whereas Gun has turned into be like a great lover. Like, she loves attention. She loves kind of getting in there and snuggling, and way more than my previous dogs. So I love it. Gun is in training for a number of different tasks. He's more of like an alert dog and rescue dog. I have hearing issues and I also have balance issues. I'm very active, always out doing things, trying to go on hikes, other different kind of adventures. And so it's really great to have a dog like Gun, once she's trained up, to be able to go find somebody or alert me of individuals, you know, if I can't hear people coming up near to me, and as well as more of a support. You know, there's a lot of anxiety as well. Gun makes it possible for me to get out and be places, be in, you know, large crowds with people, helps me kind of alert to, you know, what's going on around me. And also, you know, while I'm being active, you know, if something, God forbid, were to happen where, you know, I were to lose my balance out on some sort of hike or something like that, she'd be able to either alert people of my presence or help find somebody in case that was needed. Having someone like Gun or your service dog that helps you get out there and be active and be in the world, it makes all the difference. I mean, without that, your life spirals. So it changes your life.
I did not believe that there could be another dog that could take Gunny's place. But Teddy has stolen my heart. He is like, yes you have. I am okay. He has stolen my heart. He is not even a tool. He's more like a child for me. I do things with Teddy that I never did with Gunny. With Teddy, he jumps in the morning in my bed. We cuddle. It's a must. I worry differently. You know, Gunny was my service dog, but Teddy's more of like a baby. My child. It's a little different. They mean everything. It's so much. It covers, they're like my advocates, my bodyguards, you know, my teddy bear. They mean everything to me. And having them is, I don't feel so alone. I feel like they get me, even though they can't communicate that. So I don't think I could do it without them.
Tim and Sandy Day, I'd really like to thank you. Bruno was diagnosed with osteoarthritis. He has to get Adequan injections probably about once every month. The medication is very expensive, and since it's considered a pre-existing condition, I'm not able to afford the medicine. Semper Fi and America's Fund and Tim and Sandy Day are there to actually help me and get rid of his discomfort. So I want to thank you again, Tim and Sandy Day, and Semper Fi and America's Fun. Thank you very much.
Blade is one of the most healthiest dogs ever. A year ago, he had a heart attack, and it came out of nowhere. It cost me thousands and thousands of dollars between cardiologist appointments, medicine, and I had to rechange his entire diet. I was able to reach out to the Semper Fi and America's Fund to get help. They were easily able to relieve the strain of that financial responsibility so that I can ensure that he stays in a working status. So thank you so much for what it is that you do for us.
I want to say thank you for all the support that given us, Semper Fi and America's Fund. They helped me a lot, and all the donations that they've received and gave us are very welcomed and appreciated.
All the things that we get from Semper Fi and America's Fund is a complete blessing. To Tim and Sandy Day, I just want to say thank you. I'm going to be in eternal debt to you guys. It's definitely a blessing as far as all the resources from the Semper Fi and America's Fund. It's insane as far as the travel, the training, all the food that Con gets. We're completely blessed when it comes to all the things that you guys offer my family and my service animal.
It's a very invaluable relationship that a veteran has with that service animal. It's therapy without pills and medication, right? It's just the touch, the lick, the soothing that a dog can give you. It's just something that it's indescribable, and it really changes your spirit in a very positive way, and it's huge. So thank you all. Thank you for all you guys do. It's a huge impact to our veterans like myself.
Having the Semper Fi and America Fund jump in with their supporters to help me, it was a huge hurdle that I didn't have to worry about.
Tim and Sandy Day, I will say from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. Words cannot express how thankful I am to have the opportunity to have and interact with Murph and take him places and do things, and I just thank you.
Tim and Sandy Day, I just want to say thank you for all your support to service members like myself. It really means a lot. I've really benefited a lot. Thank you.